Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Meeples Corner news show. This week we were finally allowed to open again and we had our first customers in on Monday. It was really nice to talk to a lot of them and see how they were doing and showing them some of the new games that came in the last couple of months. And yeah, just a really nice experience finally being able to have people in the shop and talking to them. So that's good news, and also it means that I'm hopefully will be able to go to a more regular schedule in regards to the YouTube videos. So hopefully from next week on we are back to one video per week on a Friday, and then in between some unboxing and how to play videos if I find something interesting. It is still, as you can see, fairly quiet in regards to new games or items we receive during the week. Hopefully it will pick up in April and March. The lists are getting longer and longer, and at one point the games hopefully are coming to the UK. This week is still quiet, but I have a few items I can show you. But before I do it, I'm switching over to the website to show you some of the new pre-orders I've added to the website in the last few days. There's quite a few very interesting ones, and also I've just received confirmation of what we can expect to come in next week, so I can show you some of these items as well on the website, and then afterwards we're coming back to the table to show you the few bits and bobs I got this week. That's it. See you in a moment. On the website of Meeples Corner, I want to show you four pre-orders I've added over the last few weeks that I think are very interesting. The first one is Cthulhu Wars Duel Extinction. It's coming out in June, and it's the second game in the Cthulhu Wars Duel series from Peterson Game. The Cthulhu Wars Duel games are two-player versions of the big Cthulhu Wars game. They come without miniatures and instead use cardboard tokens, so they're a lot smaller and a lot more affordable. You can see here it's only £23 for a game. And Extinction is the second set. Each of the set is standalone, but you can mix and match the different factions in the games, and you can also use the map for other games or in the series. So that's quite nice to either start with the games, or if you have the first game, to expand your collection a bit. And the second game of the pre-orders I want to show you is Carcassonne 20th anniversary. That's a special edition to celebrate 20 years of Carcassonne winning the Spiel des Jahres in 2001. The special edition includes 3 expansions. We have the Small River mini expansion, we have the Abbott mini expansion, and the new 15-tile anniversary expansion. Everything comes in a nice, fancy box and includes also stickers to customize your meeples. So these anniversary edition will come hopefully end of May. Pre-orders are now open, and we have the third pre-order I want to point out to you is Stroganoff from Andreas Stading and released by Game Brewers. Andreas Stading is known for Hansa Teutonica and Gougon. Unfortunately, it will be a while before the game gets released. It's at the moment expected to come in October, so it sounds like an Essen release, but this is definitely one to keep your eyes on, and if you want to secure a copy, you can already place an order. And the last pre-order I want to point out is Shards of Infinity, a new expansion for the deck building game. It's called Into the Horizon, expected to come in June, and it's a small box expansion, not the big one like the campaign one they released late last year. So it's a smaller box, more in the way like the first expansion they released, coming out in June. Price is £8.50, and yeah, pre-orders are now open for this one as well. And now we're going to the games I'm expecting for next week. Unfortunately, it looks a bit quiet on the board game front, but I'm getting a very interesting role-playing game called Alice is Missing. Even if you're not into role-playing games normally, this one is something completely different to your usual Dungeons and Dragons and Cyberpunk role-playing games. It's a one-session game, and has some really interesting aspects to it. It doesn't need a dungeon master, so you can just sit down like you would do with a board game and spend 2 or 3 hours and have a really good time. So that's coming next week and will be on the website, I think, from Monday. But board game wise, I get 3 very interesting restocks. First one is Dune Imperium, the deck building game from the people behind Clang. That came out before Christmas, was very popular, sold out fairly quickly, and hasn't been in stock since. So now we get the first restock here in the UK. Pre-orders orders are now possible, so if you want to secure a copy, you can do it now. Then the second board game restock we're expecting is Hallertau from Rosenberg and Lookout Games. That's coming Monday, Tuesday as well, and again you can order it already to secure a copy. And the last one is the King's Dilemma from Horrible Games, a really interesting sounding legacy style game. Yeah, it was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres last year, very popular. Has the small problem that it's recommended to play with 4 or 5 people, so not really a lockdown game. But the good thing is, if you have one physical copy, you can play the game online by going on Tabletopia and use it to manage all the different elements of the game, so you can play it online. So that's maybe something you can do, or now we are allowed to meet up with 6 friends in a garden. It should be a lot easier to play this game. And again, like the other 2 restocks coming in on Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, these are the pre-orders I wanted to point out to you and the games I expect for next week. So now we can go back to the table and I can show you what I've got, what I've received for you this week. Okay, see you at the table.
So this have been the pre-orders and upcoming games for next week. Hopefully there were some interesting games in there for you. This week we only had a few games, but I also received another of these books from Arcanite Books. It's basically the Asmodee publisher branch for board game related books. They released quite a few in the last month. So there's books based on Descent, there's books for Arkham Horror, there's books for Twilight Imperium. They have a whole section of Marvel related books. I have a few in the shop. I can basically get them all. They're not all on the website yet. If there's anything on the Arcanite website you're interested in and I don't have on the website or in the shop, just let me know and I can always get them in. But I just focused on the newer ones and the more interesting sounding ones. So this week there was another Arkham Horror one, The Mask of Silver. So maybe for everyone who's a fan of the Arkham Horror card game or the board game, these could be quite interesting to get a bit of a background story for Arkham Horror. Then we had a nice looking kids game in. It's called Jurassic Brunch. It was it's basically based on Jurassic Snack, or as a follow-up for Jurassic Snack. It's a 2-player game with very cute looking dinosaur figures. Its age advice is from 7 and over. It's for 2 players. It takes roughly 50 minutes to play, and components and everything are really nice. And I had a lot of people who are playing Jurassic Snack with their kids asking for this one, and it has finally arrived this week. So that's the children's game. Then we had a new game from Blue Orange coming in yesterday. It's called Bellum Magica. It's from, hopefully I pronounce his name correctly, it's Frederick Gourart. He is the designer behind It's a Wonderful World. It's a nice looking game, 2 to 5 players, 30 minutes. As always, really good looking components. yeah, Blue Orange Game, they always release really good looking games. Most of the time they're not too complex, they're light to mid-weight, and they also have a really nice price point. So this one is £23. Box size is a bit smaller than your typical Ticket to Ride. It's more like a expansion box, but it looks like there's a lot of components in there with little trays and everything. So that's available from yesterday and on the website. And today was the release date for the new edition of Zombicide. That's the second edition. Again, big box, same box size like the old Zombicide, with lots of miniatures as we are used to from Cool Mini or Not. So that's the second edition base game, and for the first time, at least according to the box, they have released a campaign for the game. The expansion is called Washington CC. Yeah, that both of them have been released today. The campaign is a bit smaller size, maybe half the size of the big box game. It comes with lots of components, a few new miniatures. So these two have been released today, and I've just put them on the website, so they're available to order from now. Yeah, that's all for this week. The games that are coming in next week, I've shown you on the website. They should be here normally by Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning at the latest. So have a look at them. And if there's anything interesting, I always try to ship orders as fast as possible. Okay, have a nice weekend and see you soon.